Welcome, platform players, to another edition of the PPTA APTA instructional videos. My name is Nate Parsons, president of the PPTA, and I'm joined today by Peter Burka, vice president of the PPTA, director of racket sports at the Sunset Ridge Country Club, and top ranked player. Today, our discussion or topic is going to be cold weather paddle. Okay, Pete, so when we talk cold weather paddle, what's the first thing that comes to mind to you?
Well, I think the first thing is this bounce. I mean, the ball is going to behave differently. I mean, it's conducive to the weather, and so we'll do a little test here real quick of balls here, and you'll notice, you know, in the bounce, the brighter ball bounces a little bit higher. You know, if it's warmer, you know, it's going to jump off your paddle, jump off the ground, but you know, when it's cold, the ball just doesn't really move, and that's really the biggest difference between warm weather and cold weather paddle is the bounce of the ball.
And Pete, what would you consider cold weather temperature?
Really, I think anything under about 25 is, I mean, you're going to get, that's a cold weather game. I mean, when you start getting above 30 and it's sunny, and you know, that I think leans more towards the warmer weather.
Perfect. Let's get into some of the cold weather shots. So Pete, if we break cold weather down, give me 3 big tips or ideas that you can think about out here to kind of break it down for the group out there.
Well, I think the first thing is if you win the toss. I mean, right at the start, you know, a lot of people receive in this game, but in cold weather, take the serve. It's to your advantage. I think the second thing is the way you play at the net. The ball's going to be obviously a lot different than warm weather, so you're going to look to be a little more conservative. And then the way you play in the backcourt. You know, you're going to be a little more disciplined and really look for that, you know, solid opportunity to take advantage versus just a kind of an iffy ball.
Perfect.
All right, whether it's cold weather paddle or warm weather paddle, on the overhead, you have to look at the main fundamentals here, and that's turning your shoulders, you know, getting sideways, you know, making contact with that ball kind of next to your head, letting it drop a little bit, and looking to get the ball to the side screen. I think what happens with a lot of players is just the inability to get the ball there. Now, in cold weather, it's paramount, because if you get it there, you can win the point outright. If you don't win it outright, a lot of times they'll hit a short reply, which then sets up your next shot, which is the drop shot. Due to the distance, you know, if they're scrambling so far back, the drop shot does not have to be perfect. You just lay it out there, and it's good enough. All right, in the backcourt, your play here is going to be a little different. When it's cold, you have to be more disciplined and really look for that good opportunity. You're not going to have as many drives off the screens. When your opponents are hitting into your corners, you're going to look to block a little bit more, preventing that ball from going into your corner. You might have some more one screeners where it doesn't even get to 2. So, you know, everything back here changes, and I think what you're really looking for is that one good opportunity.
Okay, Pete, so one bonus tip we can give everybody. In cold weather, you've mentioned it before, the drop shot. So why don't we talk a little bit about the drop shot in cold weather?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, it's definitely something I encourage players to do. It gets cold, ball's not bouncing. You want to look for this shot. I mean, if you hit a ball into a corner and you've gotten your opponents digging out a weak reply and they're back in the deepest part of the court, great opportunity to drop shot somebody. And it doesn't even have to be that good. I think that's where players get lost in the whole idea. Well, I don't really have a drop shot. Well, it doesn't have to be good. Just leave it short. The weather's going to help you out. It's not going to bounce. Even if they get to it, guess what? They're out of position for the next shot.
Okay, Pete, so to conclude cold weather paddle, give us some kind of final thoughts to think about.
You know, I think the main thing is the weather is really putting the ball kind of on a silver platter for you. I mean, as far as volleys go and overheads and, you know, when you're at the net, when you're the net team, you know, we already said that take the serve. And so when you're the team there, it's a matter of just being able to be conservative, play your fundamental paddle. I think you don't need anything special when you're, you know, whether you're a beginner or an advanced player, you don't have to have all those spins. I mean, the weather's going to do a lot for you.
Perfect, Pete. Well, I want to thank you for coming out. And remember to take all these tips to the next level. Find your local PPTA pro. You can go online at pptausa.com.